NASA's urgent warning. Pluto is not what we thought, and it's more alive than ever. When NASA sends out a cautionary message, the scientific world listens. But this time, the warning is not about an asteroid or space debris. It's about a world many had all but forgotten, Pluto. Once dismissed as a minor outlier of our solar system, Pluto is roaring back into scientific and public fascination, thanks to revelations that are both wondrous and unnerving. The message is clear. Pluto is not what we thought it was. In fact, it may be one of the most geologically dynamic and mysterious bodies in our solar system, the forgotten planet that refused to be forgotten. In 2006, Pluto was unceremoniously demoted from planetary status by the International Astronomical Union, IU. This caused outrage across the globe. School children, teachers, scientists, and space enthusiasts protested. How could we lose a planet that had been with us since 1930? The reasoning was technical. Pluto did not meet all the criteria for planethood, particularly the requirement that a planet must clear its orbit of other celestial bodies, sharing its neighborhood in the Kuiper Belt with icy bodies and dwarf planets like Eris and Haumea. Pluto was deemed more of a dwarf planet than a full-fledged member of the solar system's inner circle. But the story didn't end there. Enter New Horizons, a probe and a revolution. In 2015, nearly a decade after its launch, NASA's New Horizons spacecraft made a historic flyby of Pluto. It was the first mission to get an up-close look at the former ninth planet, and what it found stunned even the most seasoned planetary scientists. For the first time in human history, we saw Pluto not as a blurry speck, not as an artist's concept, but as a world colorful, complex, and captivating. And it had a heart, literally. The now iconic image of Pluto's surface revealed a giant, bright, heart-shaped region, Sputnik Planitia, etched into the frozen crust of this distant dwarf planet. But Pluto's charm was only skin deep. Beneath its icy face lay a world that defied expectations and redefined planetary science. The heart of Pluto beats with activity. Scientists expected Pluto to be a frozen, dead rock, a relic of the early solar system, preserved in icy silence. Instead, they found signs of a planet that is alive, geologically, dynamically, and possibly even climatically. The heart-shaped Sputnik Planitia is no ordinary ice field. Composed primarily of nitrogen ice with traces of methane and carbon monoxide, it sits inside a massive impact basin that may be the key to understanding Pluto's inner workings. Beneath the ice, there could be a vast, subsurface ocean of liquid water, kept warm not by sunlight, but by the residual heat of radioactive decay and tidal forces from Pluto's bizarre dance with its moon, Charon. Some researchers have even compared Pluto's interior to a giant lava lamp, a slow-moving, churning core where heat causes material to rise and fall in convective currents, reshaping the icy surface above. This activity suggests that Pluto's surface is not ancient and cratered like the moon's, but rather renewed and reshaped over time, an active participant in its own planetary story. A planet that moves. Even its icebergs wander. Among the more sensational reports from the New Horizons data was a strange image of what looked like a figure walking across Pluto's surface. The walking person turned out to be a dirty iceberg, composed of solid nitrogen and possibly methane, gliding slowly over Pluto's icy plains. This motion is driven by geological and thermal activity beneath the surface. Imagine an iceberg in slow motion push across a frozen lake. Only in this case, the lake is made of frozen nitrogen, and the forces below are internal planetary heat, not liquid water. The terrain, particularly in Sputnik Planitia, is covered with polygonal cells, honeycomb-like patterns caused by convection within the ice sheet. Proof of active geological cycles occurring on a world billions of kilometers from the sun. Cryovolcanoes and seasonal weather on a frozen world. Even more astonishing was the suggestion that Pluto may harbor cryovolcanoes, icy equivalents of the volcanoes we see on Earth and Mars. Instead of spewing lava, these icy mountains erupt ammonia, water, or methane slush from the interior. Two gigantic ice domes observed in Pluto's southern hemisphere might be these cryovolcanoes, evidence that Pluto's core remains warm, enabling such dramatic geological expression. But Pluto is not just geologically alive, it's also climatically active. Pluto's elongated orbit and tilted axis cause it to experience extreme seasonal changes. During parts of its 248 Earth-year orbit, it moves significantly closer or farther from the Sun, leading to dramatic atmospheric shifts. When Pluto is closer to the Sun, its thin atmosphere, made of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide, expands as surface ice sublimates, turns directly from solid to gas. As it drifts farther away, the atmosphere freezes back onto the surface, effectively snowing nitrogen and methane. Yes, it snows on Pluto, but it's not snow as we know it. Instead of water, the precipitation consists of frozen gases, exotic snows blanketing the plains in an otherworldly winter. Charon, Pluto's partner in crime. Pluto doesn't travel through space alone. Its largest moon, Charon, is so massive relative to Pluto that the two actually orbit a shared center of gravity located in space between them. This makes Pluto-Charon a binary dwarf planet system, a rarity in our solar system. Discovered in 1978, Charon has since revealed itself to be just as strange as its partner. Its surface is covered in canyons, ice ridges, and vast chasms, some larger than the Grand Canyon. Scientists believe Charon once had its own internal ocean, and even now it may be geologically active. The gravitational interaction between Pluto and Charon also helps keep Pluto's core warm. The two are tidally locked, always showing the same face to each other, just like Earth and the Moon. Only in Pluto's case, the effect is mutual. Charon might even play a role in capturing particles from Pluto's escaping atmosphere, creating a shared, invisible shroud between the two bodies. It's a cosmic dance of intimacy and exchange that defies the moon-planet dynamic we see elsewhere, a world with weather, ice volcanoes, and a liquid ocean. To summarize just how much Pluto defies its dwarf planet status, it has a layered atmosphere that expands and contracts with its orbit. It snows with nitrogen and methane. Its surface shifts and evolves due to convection and tectonic-like forces. It may harbor a liquid ocean beneath its icy crust. It shows signs of cryovolcanism, where icy slush erupts from the interior. It travels in a gravitational dance with a moon nearly half its size. It has weather, seasons, and a beating geological heart. Is this truly just a dwarf planet? Or have we underestimated Pluto in ways that call into question our very classification system for celestial bodies? What does NASA's warning mean? NASA's implied warning is not about danger, but about paradigm shift. We assume Pluto was a frozen relic, yet it turns out to be an active, evolving world. If Pluto, so far from the Sun, can remain geologically and climatically alive, what does that say about other icy bodies in the Kuiper Belt, or about potential habitability in the farthest reaches of our solar system? Might similar activity be occurring on Eris, Haumea, or even the mysterious Planet 9 hypothesized to exist beyond Pluto's orbit? And if Pluto can sustain a warm interior and a possible subsurface ocean, could microbial life exist in these protected environments, cut off from sunlight but thriving on geothermal energy? The Final Frontier rewritten. Pluto, once stripped of its planetary title and cast into obscurity, is now a key to the future of planetary science. Its dynamic nature challenges our definitions, expands our imagination, and reminds us that the universe is full of surprises, especially where we least expect them, far from being just another icy rock. Pluto may well be a living world in the outer solar system, a tiny sentinel of deep secrets and untold mysteries. Perhaps, one day soon, the debate will reignite, and Pluto will reclaim its place among the planets. Until then, it will continue to inspire awe, not just as a symbol of cosmic politics, but as a thriving, dynamic world that never gave up on surprising us.